Hey guys, it's the mama here. Before we get started, I just wanted to put this quick disclaimer out there. We make light of a lot of horrible things, and trust me, they are horrible. We are not, however, making fun of the topics we discuss. Us laughing or cracking jokes is simply our way of coping with the atrocities we talk about. We have nothing but love and support for the victims and their families, and will never stoop that low. We've experienced tragedy ourselves. This is why we do what we do. That being said, stay spoopy, our friends. Horror where we grow love for all things spooky and macabre. Hey, horror.
Pillowcase!
Don't you wonder if you're ever going to run out of words?
As long as there are words in the English language, I am perfectly okay. And,
Hey.
we're adding new ones every fucking day, so...
Hey, horrorhead.
Yeet!
Yeet is right.
So, today we're going to start off with me, and the idea I had was, I found a list of some of what are considered the spookiest horror stories on Reddit. Now,
okay.
and what I figured we could
And
do...
I'm not on there, like, hardly ever. Unless I'm, like, doing research on something, so...
Yeah. So, what I thought we could do is... I think this is like 10 stories, but they're all short stories. Figure we could read each one.
Are they real?
No, these are fake horror stories, I'm assuming. I haven't read any of them. It just said 10, 11 scariest stories on Reddit. So they're user submitted on Reddit, and I figured...
So we have no way of knowing if it's bullshit or not.
Yep. But the idea is, after each story, we take a couple of minutes, discuss what we thought about the story. You know, if it was worth being on the list, what do you think makes it scary? How did it make you feel? That, you know, just general discussion stuff.
Alright.
So.
Alright, we'll give it a whirl.
So, the first... Oh, hold on.
You're fucking yourself all up over there.
A little bit. So, the first story...
I need a different pair of glasses, man.
Are they still dirty?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm gonna use this pair and see if...
While you're...
Well, they have scratches on them and every other goddamn thing.
While you're futzing with that, I'm gonna take a quick swig.
You're gonna be up all goddamn night.
Nah. ADHD won't let me.
Well, let's see if these are any better.
Alright, let me know when you're,
Go, I'm ready.
So, the first story...
I'm not reading.
The first story is called It Wasn't a Little Girl.
Oh my god, this automatically, right off the dickhead, reminds me of the BEKs. Do you know what that is?
No.
The Black-Eyed Kids.
Oh! Yeah, it's not that.
Okay.
I was camping with my husband and his family at a small...
Well, you already done fucked up.
At a small remote lake in New Mexico. There are about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people in the next campsite. It was nighttime.
Hold on. So...
There's 2 camps. One has 10.
No. So, whatever thread you found these on, the people who submit these stories never tell you if it's real or not?
Nope. You just kind of...
Is there a chance that it could be real?
I don't think this one's real. Trust me.
All right. I'm just trying to, gauge the situation.
Well, I just scanned through the rest of the story, and yeah, this ain't real. I can already tell you. It was nighttime, and that kind of spoils it.
Sorry.
Damn. It was nighttime, and both...
Well, you never know.
Yeah, now you're all paranoid because of when I got you good.
Exactly.
It was nighttime, and both groups were doing typical activities, making s'mores, having a few drinks, and telling stories, when we all heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help.
Oh, fuck.
Neither group had children with them, but we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area we heard the noises from.
Nope.
There was a field behind our campsites, and we all saw a very tall, pure white figure standing maybe 100 feet away from us in the field, making the noises. We all agreed this thing looked like maybe 6 feet tall, skinny, and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whatever it was we saw started backing off as we got closer, and it disappeared into the trees. All night, we continued to hear a little girl calling for help as we tried to sleep.
See? They fucked around, but they didn't find out.
Because they knew better.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one kind of reminds me of, like, I've heard stories that are similar to this. And, like, it does kind of, like, you kind of feel that dread, like, it's the monster, but
Why
we can't.
stay? Get in your fucking vehicle
Well,
and
because
leave.
clearly it wasn't going to come any closer.
Well, there's no clearly to that. It could have.
Well, because it was backing off as they tried to get closer to it.
I ain't taking that fucking chance.
But, like, that, there's, like, something dreadful about that, you know? You're hearing...
You know it's there.
But you're hearing
and
a little...
And it could be here at any moment.
You're hearing a little girl scream. You know it's not a little girl, but you're just hearing it all night as you're sleeping.
I'm good, fam. I'm so good. I don't need to camp no more.
I would be so done when I left
exiting this situation.
I would just be so fucking done.
Ooh,
but like
me.
that would be terrifying. Like you're like, where is that noise coming from?
Would you stay?
No.
Fuck no. I'm saying, boy, you best put your drawers on. We are out.
But yeah, it's definitely. I would say this is a decent, short, scary story.
I don't care how drunk you are. That shit'll sober you up right quick and proper.
Okay, this one's a little bit longer. This next one's called The Walking Dead, and not That Walking Dead.
Okay.
I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my...
Oh, here we go already.
For fuck's sake, Mom. I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my career, I worked at a residential mental health facility. One of our residents was an elective mute, which means that he couldn't talk. There were no medical reasons as to why. He had spoken earlier in his life, and in fact seemed quite normal back then.
So he's just choosing not to now.
With the exception of being close to 7 feet tall.
Damn.
He'd been raised in the deep south and joined the military when he was 19.
1 second.
Trumpet
Sorry.
solo.
Okay. The deep south, huh?
Deep south, and he joined the military.
Cajun? Like Cajun deep south?
Doesn't specify.
Okay.
Unless I say it, it doesn't specify.
Okay.
When he joined the military when he was 19, but one night he vanished. He was declared AWOL, and eventually he was declared missing and dead. 10 years later, a 7-foot-tall man walked into a Virginia hospital emergency room in my part of the Midwest VA or veteran. I don't know.
That VA is a vet hospital.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I misread it as Virginia.
No, a vet hospital.
Okay, into a VA hospital emergency room in my part of the Midwest, and said to the receptionist, "My name is in this. It's they're not using the real name.
Well, because it ain't real,
as far as you know. My name is Marion Duchesne, not the real name, and I've been dead for 10 years. Those were the last words he ever spoke. He was covered with dust, and he was wearing the same clothes he'd been reported to be wearing the night he vanished. His social security number had not been used, and he had no identification on his person. However, they were able to identify him, I guess, via fingerprints. The family was notified, but they said they had already grieved their lost man, and that whomever was claiming to be him simply could not be. They demanded not to be contacted again." Marion paced all day, every day, moving his mouth that looked like talking or muttering, but no sound came out. He had an unnerving habit to throw his head back with his mouth wide open as if he were laughing heartily, but not even a breath could be heard. If I talked to him, he appeared to listen, periodically throwing his head back in that laughter-mimicking way of his.
You're going to give yourself whiplash doing that.
I'm used to it. Various medications were tried, but they did not affect him either positively or negatively. Occupational therapy did nothing because Marion would just grin, and unless told to stay put, he'd get up and start pacing again. On my last day at that job, the last thing I saw was Marion, pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Quote, quote.
Air testicles.
Later, I wondered if all along I'd been dealing with a ghost. All these years later, I still don't know.
Or maybe he got caught in a fairy ring. Or maybe he got caught in a time warp.
Let's do the time warp.
Don't! You already got me lit! You're an asshole!
It's a step to the left and a jump to the right.
Okay, alright, next story. Honestly, though, shit like that has happened before.
Yeah. Like, remember when we were talking about zombies, there was a story that was similar to that.
Yeah, people went missing and all of a sudden there they are.
Or like, remember the one story was like he was buried.
But fairy rings, fairy circles, fairy rings. They say if you step into one of those,
you get
the
lost.
time is different there. It might seem like 5 minutes there, and then when you finally find your way out, it's been 10 years.
Yeah. Or like the one zombie story where it was like the guy was buried alive for like 3 years. Then he came back out of it, he like dug his way out, got to the town, and everyone's like, "You're supposed to be fucking dead." And he's like, "Am I?" All right. So what do you think of that one?
I could see that happening more than... No, I could see the first one happening too.
I mean, there's enough unexplained shit in the world that both of those stories so far could have been possible.
Exactly.
Next up.
But what I find fucked up is that the family was... I mean, I can understand it, but no. If you disappeared...
For 10 years.
For 10 years, and someone called me and said, your son is here, and it's your son, I'm not going to say...
There's no way.
I grieve, don't contact me again. I'm coming to see with my own goddamn eyes if it is my son or not.
Yeah. Well, I think...
And if it is, I'm going to bust your ass and say, where the fuck have you been? You little shit.
The thing that what I think the context of that part of the story is like, it's been 10 years, we know he's gone, that can't be him, don't put us through this again, don't contact us.
I would not be that way. As a mother who has already lost a child, if somewhere down the road, and I know he's gone because I saw it with my own eyes,
Same.
But if it's been 4 years, if 6 more years down the road, somebody came up and called me and said, hey, your son is here, first of all, I'll be like...
That's bullshit, because... He's currently in a box in my living room.
Right, but I would be like, I'm going to need picture proof first.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just say no. My heart would not let me do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let me do that. Okay, next.
The next one is called The Unrest Stop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was driving across the country with my mom and sister when I was 16 and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were all well rested and still alert. We were driving along an interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break, so we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us, with 2 young men standing still outside of it. When we got there, everything felt wrong. We'd been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching...
So now the teenagers are saying it and they think it too.
Yeah, the family got there and was like, alright, something's off. Then the teenagers were like, I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up! Chrissy, I don't like this!
Yeah.
Sorry, I had that stuck in my head recently because Stranger Things. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work and they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us and the 2 men had not moved at all. Not an inch. They weren't talking. They weren't on phones. They were just standing there.
They were just standing there.
Still as stone.
Oh, fuck.
My sister and mom...
I'm not digging that.
My sister and mom came running back out to the car, and when they got in, the 2 men slowly turned to look at us while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies.
So how'd they turn? Just their head? Oh, hell to the no!
Hey, since you guys aren't here, I slowly and creepily turned my head to my mom.
Nope. That's what you call, let's get the fuck out of here.
And I swear to fucking shit, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty. Truly empty. Not black, not reflecting any light at all. Just a void.
BEKs! But they...
BEAs. Black-eyed adults. Better than...
Well, I thought you said they were... Oh, no, the teenagers left.
Yeah, these are 2 adults.
Well, no, there are known to be adults that are around the children, so maybe there are actual BEKs, man.
It's better than the BEPs. Black.
Continue, sir.
Someone out there will be like, God damn it. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, We couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of road and got only confused looks. We've traveled on that interstate since, and there is no rest stop.
I can see that for real happening.
Yeah. You're kind of getting into, like you said, it's like a fairy circle kind of thing. Like, you just get into,
That sounds like a ghost town.
Yeah. Literally.
And people do say that.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
That was a good one. Like,
That one wasn't bad.
I can see that being like a short film, or maybe even
But that does remind me of BEKs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, that could be a short film, or even like an indie mini, like a mini indie horror game. I could see that working.
Yeah.
It came for us in the graveyard.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, clear your throat for this one.
We were driving my friend's really old beat-up Subaru through a massive graveyard. We stopped and walked down a hill and came across a little pond. There was something sitting on a rock on the other side of the pond. The figure was all black, and we couldn't make out any features other than the fact that it looked like a man who was wearing some old-style top hat. We stupidly waved and shouted, "Hi!" He didn't show any acknowledgement and continued sitting still on the rock. All of a sudden, he jumped to his feet, started running to us on the water.
Nope.
And then vanished in thin water about halfway on the pond.
You just saw a ghost, my friend.
My friends and I screamed and ran back to the car. The car wouldn't start, and we heard something banging on the back of the car. It wasn't a controlled bang, but every few seconds or so we'd hear it.
That sounds like... You know what that sounds like? What did I say in the previous episode?
Oh, yeah.
An epidermis dancer. That's what they do.
Yeah. Let's see. I opened my phone and started dialing my mom to come give us a boost, but I had no service.
Epidermis dancer.
She's saying that because the real name will summon it, so we're avoiding that.
2 words. First word is SKIN.
And the second word is the opposite of running.
Yup.
Or runner, I should say. None of us had any cell service. The next 30 minutes were spent trying to get her car started. No banging was heard afterwards, but we felt this heavy pressure around us. Finally, the car started and she hit the
Was it daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime, I'm assuming.
Yup.
Finally, the car started and she hit the pedal to the metal. We sped out of the graveyard so fast. Immediately crossing the gates, all of our phones regained cell service. One thing I know for certain is that someone or something was out there, and it was not an animal or a human.
Epidermis dancer.
Yep. So yeah, that sounds like it could be a encounter. Being the substitute for that.
That's on my list of things to do. Do you know how many accounts there are of epidermis dancers?
I mean, there has to be enough if there's a TV show about the ranch of it.
A lot.
Sorry, I was taking a drink. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking. But yeah, that was a good one. That kind of had like a the hook man.
Oh, the hooker man?
Yeah. Where it's just like, but the hook was hanging off the door.
Yeah.
Hand hook car door. But whose phone? This next one is called, It Was Good to See an Old Friend. When I was 37, I went to my high school reunion. I flew into the nearest airport and rented a car. The distance was about 35 miles through a very rural and almost abandoned part of the country. About 3 miles outside of town, I see someone on the side of the road flagging me down. It turned out that it was one of the guys I had attended school with. Jim, not his real name. Gets in the car and we start talking. I had not seen him in 20 years, but he's...
Hold on. So he just randomly flags him down and this dude don't think to go, "What's up, my guy? Where's your car?"
Well, I'm assuming when he got flagged down, he was to see if the guy needed help with something, and it turns out it was one of the people he went to school with.
I get that, but where's his car?
It doesn't say. Or we haven't gotten to it yet. I've read the first 2 stories before this, but I haven't read any more.
All right. I gotta pee, but keep going. I'll leave the door open.
I had not seen him in 20 years, but he still looked the same, maybe a little older.
Okay, well, after 20 years, you're going to look older.
Yeah, and I mean, 20 years from, well, 10 more years from now, I'll probably just have more gray in my hair, so I get it. We get to town, and I ask him if he wants to come over to the VFW and have a drink. He says, no, just take me home. Jim's parents had lived only a few blocks from my grandmother's house, and I turned in that direction, but he said to take him to the outskirts of town. There was a mobile home parked out there, and I figured that's where he lived. When we reached the end of the turnoff, he said, just drop me here. It was good to see you again. And he walks off into the night.
And disappears.
Like a fart in the wind.
I was gonna say that.
Beat you by 1 second. I go to the VFW, met some of my old classmates, and we started to talk.
He dead.
As we were talking about who was coming to the reunion...
That guy!
I mentioned that I had just picked up Jim. I had just picked up Jim 3 miles east of town and I dropped him off. Everyone gets quiet. Even the guy singing karaoke stops and lays down the mic. My cousin goes white as a new t-shirt. That's a new one. I've never heard that phrase. That's a good one.
Have to remember it.
Yup. Barb. Jim died on that curve 8 years ago. Rolled his car. We were all at his funeral, I was told. I started to feel really dizzy, and I went out to the car to take some deep breaths. There on the seat is the local newspaper, printed 8 years previous, containing Jim's obituary. I still have the paper.
I believe that could be true.
I see that being a possibility.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. Christ, I've had my own ghost stories. Nothing like this, but... There was one where it was out in broad daylight. Like, I was walking down the main street up here, and when that building up there was still, like, what was it? It wasn't the local at the time, but it wasn't...
Babes.
It might have been Babes. Or what was it? Was it
L&M's before that.
Okay, so it was probably Babes at this point. But, like, I remember walking down to the overpass, and on my way back...
What, were you playing Pokemon?
No, I was just taking a walk.
Oh.
And, I see this couple walk out of the bar, and they were, like, walking toward me, but I didn't, like, notice any, like, discerning features. I just remember how they were dressed. Girl was dressed in, like, a white tank top and, like, red booty shorts, like the fabric-y ones that you would go to the gym in. And then, like, the guy was just, like, white t-shirt and just saggy, not, like, saggy, but, like, oversized denim jeans. Like, what you would expect for the area.
Right.
So, they turned around the corner, because they walked out the main entrance, then they went around the corner toward the side entrance, which was already a red flag, like, why not go out the side entrance, you know?
Right.
So they go around the corner and they start walking down the street. I look over, down the street, gone, immediately.
Well, you know.
Alright, the next one's a short one. Hell hath no fury.
Oh, boy.
After we moved into our new home, we were told a woman had died there at the hands of her abusive husband. She hated men.
Can you blame her?
My dad would wake up with scratches all over himself, and whenever my brother was mean to my sister or I, he would have scratches all over him as well. One day, my brother hurt our sister and he hit her with something. When he woke up later that night, he had a horrible bloody nose. The day we moved out, my brother accidentally broke his twin's arm trying out a wrestling move. He swears that he would have died that night if it wasn't our last night in the house.
That's the fuck around and find out effect.
Again, I can see that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Ghosts have done worse things than that.
Yup. This was a really short one. Death came for him.
Wow. To the point.
I was standing in my parents' room, talking to my very sick dad at the time. He was dying of stage 4 esophageal cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. I got the feeling something was behind me. I looked towards the doorway to the living room, and something about 4'6" and fully black is peeking around the corner, with its hands on the door frame.
That's a pretty specific height.
Yeah, that's like half the height of that, basically.
What, 4'6"? Like, people would say, like, 4.5 feet,
yeah.
But 4'6"?
Yeah. With its hand on the door frame. I ran towards it, and it slipped back around the door. When I got outside the doorway, there was nothing. Just like what I was fucking saying! My dad was completely confused when I stepped back inside the room. Wait, when I stepped back inside the room, hold on. Hold on. I just got my... When I stepped back inside the room, when I
You fucked it up.
No, inside the room when I tell... Oh, okay. Because, like, my eyes will jump from, like, then one line to, like, 2 lines down.
That's why I make mine, like, 14 points, so I can see it.
Yeah, inside the room when I tell him. People who stayed at my house in my dad's final days claim to have seen it. My mom saw the figure on multiple occasions in multiple places until he passed.
That size is like child size.
They had...
Or like Jamie's mama, a very short woman.
They haven't seen it since he passed away.
Well, death is supposed to be very, very tall.
Depending on your depiction of it.
And depending on your beliefs.
Yeah. Could you imagine death just being a fucking gremlin? Yeah, you're coming with me.
Oh, God.
Come here, I'll show you the way.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah. Next
We're
up.
not knocking anybody's beliefs, but that is kind of short.
Let's see, I'm just about 6 foot. So, like, that would probably be up to, like, what, here?
Well, I'm 5'4", so that's...
Yeah, that would be, like, up to here. Like, up to my, like...
That's
right...
like waist size.
Yeah.
So that's child
Yeah,
size.
that's like a 12-year-old.
Like I said, that's like mum.
Yeah. Next up, my mother attracted evil.
Oh, boy.
After my parents divorced when I was a teenager, I lived with my mother. I experienced lots of paranormal happenings. Several times when I was reading in my bed, the room would start to feel really icy.
Air testicles.
Next, it would feel as if something or somebody that hated me was staring at me. When I got that feeling, I would leave the room and come back an hour later. Sometimes, during the day, I would see a shadow figure sneaking along my bedroom walls. Something in the flat... So this is
Apartment,
British.
yeah, they're the British.
Something in the flat was pretending to be my dog. I went into my room and heard a deep growl from under the bed. My dog wasn't capable of making a noise that deep. It sounded like either a really big dog or a man doing his best dog impersonation. Dogs can lick. People can lick too. Other times, my dog would whimper and pace in the room next to mine, but wouldn't come in when called.
Yeah, well, there you go.
As if he was afraid of something in the hallway.
Because he was.
When I moved in with my father, the paranormal activity stopped.
Something in that house.
Something in that house, or the mother's a beacon.
Or there's a poltergeist.
Yeah.
The mom's got a poltergeist.
Yup. Next one is called Evicted by a Ghost.
I've heard of this happening before. People said, nope, and yeeted themselves out.
Yup. Shortly after college, I got married. We immediately moved into a basement apartment because that's all was available within our budget. This place had a poltergeist, and my wife was terrified. Whatever was...
Yeah, but a poltergeist comes from someone. So it either came from him or it came from her.
Oh, I guess we'll find out. Whatever resided there with us made it clear it wanted to live alone. Dishes, glasses, and other items would fly off the shelf. My wife was hit several times.
Oh my.
There was always an ominous feeling like we were being watched. At night, when we walked through the apartment in the dark, there would be insanely bright flashes of light that would illuminate the entire room. One night, while we were going to bed, as soon as my wife and I walked into the bedroom, we heard a voice from nowhere say, "My name, move!"
I said what?
The person's name, move.
Oh.
It just says my name in, like, brackets.
Oh, gotcha.
So, just for simplicity's sake, John, move.
Right.
My wife looked at me, I looked at her, and I said loudly, "You've got it, bud." We moved out 2 days later and stayed with family. The old lady who owned the place died a few months later, and the house was torn down. It is still an empty lot to this day. Nothing but grass and a tree. I still drive by it every now and again.
Well, at least grass and a tree grew there, so...
It was just, I love how the thing was just like, leave. He's like, no problem.
I'm fucking out.
Say
Point
less.
taken, note. Yep.
Say less.
Yep.
The next one is called The Death March.
Oh, I don't know if I like the sound of that one.
My dad used to work as a corrections officer at a rural prison.
That reminds me of Green Mile.
Mr. Bojangles. He drove the perimeter of the property for
I
his...
can't watch that movie anymore.
No, I can't either.
Since Michael Duncan Clark died. I can't. Michael Clark Duncan. What?
Clark Duncan. He drove the perimeter of the property for his entire shift, where he would check empty buildings for runaway inmates. It was generally a boring job. One night, my dad was parked on a hill reading a magazine when he started to feel a thumping in his body. He described it as the feeling you get when speakers are playing a song with really heavy bass.
Okay.
He put the magazine down and checked his rearview mirror where he saw someone outside the truck. He grabbed his pistol and jumped out of the truck with his weapon drawn. Outside the truck, he realized it was a procession of Native Americans walking through the truck and directly through his seat.
Fuck that!
Only to disappear at the exact spot he was sitting. He said it was clear they were ghosts because many of them appeared injured. This went on for a few seconds, and then the whole procession disappeared. He called the other perimeter guy on his walkie to try to explain, and the other guy almost immediately stopped communicating. Turns out the other guy had seen this happen before, but didn't believe in ghosts, so he wouldn't talk about it.
If you've seen it, my guy, it happened.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely, without a doubt, happens.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at, over in PA, what is the field that everybody sees? Gettysburg.
Yeah.
That is proven to be haunted.
Yeah. All right, and then the final one. The Demon's Room.
Nah, man. The last one's a humdinger.
I worked as a forensic nurse in a hospital's lockup unit. We had one older lady who swore she was being haunted and abused by a demon she would call Tiberius.
Was he an incubus?
I don't fucking know. So many crazy things happened while she was on the unit. We'd go into the room, do normal care, leave, and seconds later she'd start screaming bloody murder. We'd run into the room to find her looking like she had been in a fight with a boxing champ.
So she was all fucked up.
Bloody lip, black eye, markings all over her body. No one ever saw her doing this stuff to herself. Things would get moved around the room by themselves. At one point, she was in protective restraints because the doctor thought she was hurting herself. There is no way she could have moved or done anything to herself in these restraints, but new marks would always appear on her tray/cart. Oh, would always appear, or her tray/cart would move across the room. The room was secure, so there was no way someone else was doing this. When we asked her questions, she'd just say, "It was Tiberius." After she was discharged, we always had trouble with that room. If there was going to be a rapid response or code, it happened in that room. One night, a guard reported lights blinking on and off. It was that room. So that room was haunted.
Mm-hmm. Yup. And why would you continue to put people in that room?
Exactly. That'd be a room that'd be like in the horror movies.
At some point, your rational mind has to say,
nope.
Maybe something's wrong.
It's like in the horror movies where it's like, there's 6 floors in this hallway, but there's space for 7.
Yes. And there's it's in California, and they don't allow anyone to stay on the 13th floor.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why, like, if you notice, a lot of planes don't have a 13th aisle. Some hotels don't have a 13th floor. It'll go from 12 right to 14.
Yeah. Well, hello. 14 is actually 13, stupid asses.
Yep.
But a lot of hotels have a 13th floor, but they don't let people stay on it.
Yep.
They use it for, like, storage and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because 13 is an angel number. Well, whatever.
Oh, superstitions.
I don't know. My birthday's on the 13th, and I'm fucking awesome.
All right. After this nice ad break, Mom will go into her segment of the episode.
We'll be right back.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Guys.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. I bet that was an ad break for sure.
Yeah, one of these days we'll be able to record a new one, and I won't sound so stupid. Okay.
That's the fun of this.
It absolutely is. And guys, I don't know. I mean, I know. We have said this before. We don't edit these episodes.
Nah, this is all off the...
This is off the cuff.
Yeah.
You'll hear me burp. You'll hear Mark burp, sneeze, cough, blow our noses. It's more authentic that way. And, I mean, this is just us. This is how we are. And this is, when we decided to do this, this is what we said we would do. We,
Yeah.
Unless something dramatic happens, like...
Yeah.
I shit my pants or something, then yeah, I'm gonna edit that out. But this is us. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to be off the cuff and just our authentic selves.
Yes.
So, with that said, up next we have the Denmark dickhead. Peter.
Hold the fuck up.
That is what I'm naming him. That is not what his name is.
I was gonna fucking say.
I'm naming him, and you'll see why.
Because I'm like, that sounds like the penis monster that exists in, like, Texas or something.
Nope. I'm calling him the Denmark dickhead.
Okay.
His name is Peter Lundin. Or Lundin? I don't know.
How's it spelled?
Lundin, but he's from Denmark, so could be...
Probably Lundin.
We're going to call him London because fuck it. So, some of this information I got from my favorite book, The Big Book of Serial Killers, Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
See? Burps.
And then I got more online from Murderpedia.
Mm-hmm.
And a tiny bit from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit. So, let's get the classifications of this dude. Name at birth. Peter Kenneth, and I'm gonna fucking butcher this part because this is the
Denmark.
The Danish Bostrom.
How you spell it?
Bostro with the line through it. M. Bostrom.
Bostrom.
London. We're just gonna say Lundin.
Or it's
probably Lundin.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
it could be like Bostrom.
Yeah. However, he decided to rename himself to Bjorn Skoonborg.
Bjorn Skoonberg?
It's kind of like Bjorn, but with an A.
Okay, so it's
Bjorn
Skoonberg.
Skoonborg.
Skoonborg. Okay.
Skounborg. Skoonborg.
Okay.
And most recently to Thomas Christian Olesen. Does somebody have an identity crisis?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Characteristics of this Denmark dickhead. Parricide. Strangulation.
Parricide is when you're killing your father, right? Or no, that's patricide.
Let me finish. Dismemberment, and the dismembered bodies have never been found.
Oh.
Now, the definition of parricide, because I wanted to make sure, is the murder of a parent. Doesn't matter which parent.
So, parricide includes matricide and patricide.
Right.
Okay.
So, like I said, I looked it up to be sure. Because you got homicide, patricide,
infanticide.
Infanticide, yes. So, this
I'm
is
sure there's
just,
one for siblings, like siblicide.
Right. This is just the broad term of he killed one of his parents.
Yeah.
Number of victims? 4.
Damn.
That makes him a serial killer.
Because, the minimum's like 3?
3. Date of the murders, April 1991 and June 2000. His date of birth is...
It's fratricide, not siblicide.
Oh.
Like fraternity.
Oh.
Fratricide. Moving on.
Date of his birth, 1971, which only makes him 1 year younger than me.
Yep.
And just in case you were wondering, yes, he's still alive.
Well, shit.
Victim profile, his mother, and Marianne Peterson and her 2 sons. No ages given, and honestly, I'm glad about that.
Because it would have only bummed you out.
It would have pissed me off even more. Method of murder, strangulation. Location, North Carolina and Denmark. Status, sentenced to 15 years in prison in 1992. Deported, let me finish that.
Go ahead.
Released and then deported to Denmark in 1999 and sentenced to life imprisonment in 2001. Right off the bat, you could tell this is yet another batshit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs dude.
Yep.
His parents were Ole and Anna.
Okay.
So if you haven't guessed it, this guy was born in Denmark.
Yep.
I can't pronounce the town. I'm going to butcher the shit out of it, so I'm going to spell... I'm going to try to say it.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to spell it. Roskilde?
Spell it.
Roskilde. Roskilde? Roskilde?
Roskilde. Or Roskilde.
But his family relocated to Maggie Valley, North Carolina when he was young, just 7 years old. So he grew up here in the States.
Yeah.
Now, here's where shit gets sketch.
Yeah.
Because while Wikipedia, not Murderpedia, which, fantastic site,
I bet.
has a ton more info, it doesn't correlate with Murderpedia and the big book of serial killers. And honestly, we all know that Wikipedia isn't always accurate because anybody can put shit on there.
Wikipedia is run by the people, said Abraham Lincoln.
And that's the thing. Anybody could put anything on Wikipedia.
Yep. Did you know, and I'm sorry to interrupt, did you know that, I want to say it was like 75% of what is on Wikipedia is attributed to one man? Like, one man helped build 3/4 of Wikipedia. Or like,
The whistleblower guy?
No. Like, there's a guy, he personally edited 75% of the articles on Wikipedia.
He's got a lot of time.
Yeah. Go ahead, continue. I'm going to look it up real quick, but continue.
So, for the purpose of this fucknut, we're not going to take too much info from Wikipedia unless I can back it up with other facts. So, strap in, Sallies. Here we go. According to the Big Book of Serial Killers, Volume 1, there was no history of violence in his life, although he would admit that he and his father would abuse his mom on the regular. Isn't that so manly? Don't know what kind of abuse, and I would hope to goddess it wasn't of the sexual nature because fucking ew. April 1991, old Petey Boy got into an argument with his mom over a haircut.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a haircut. He strangled her to death because she wanted to cut his long hair. He was 19. 19 years old and he strangled his mother. Sounds like he's a little bit of a vain fucker, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Stephen Pruitt is the guy. He has made over 5 million edits on Wikipedia alone.
Wow.
And has contributed he's also created more than 33,000 Wikipedia articles himself.
So what is his actual job?
He's an editor. Stephen Pruitt
So where is he getting his information? Just from online shit?
Yeah, his job is being a Wikipedia editor. That's his job.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of cool.
Right?
Pay me to fucking snoop.
I
I snoop anyway. All right.
Continue. I just thought that was interesting.
I don't know why he's so vain, because look him up. He's so not attractive.
Vain. Probably think the song is about you.
They're terrible. Peter, Lundin. He's not...
Peter Lundin.
Lundin. So, what's the son to do after strangling his mother to death over a haircut? Well, get your dad to help you dispose of the body, of course. I mean, why would you do the right thing and call the cops and turn yourself in?
Right.
That's too easy or some shit. So, Daddy Dearest and the son from hell take Anna's body to a nearby Cape Hatteras beach and bury her. Brilliant! Burying someone on a beach, because no one will ever find her there. She was found 8 months later by people walking on the beach. Now you've taken her life and emotionally scarred the people who found her, because I can't fucking imagine that was pretty.
Oh, I found the ages of the two kids, but you don't want to know.
No, I purposely did not look.
You don't want to know.
I purposely did not look for the ages of the children.
I just happened across that. You don't want to know.
I'm going to assume they were under 10.
No, but you're close.
Okay, no. I don't want to know. That will just infuriate me even more. So...
You said it's a guy with long hair, right?
Well, when he was 19, he had long hair. I don't know about now.
I was going to say, is that supposed to be him? Because that can't be right.
Yep.
Looks like he'd be in a power metal band or something.
Okay, so let's not forget what this part was all about.
Yeah.
Cutting his long hair in that picture.
It all started with them trying to cut his hair.
So, Petey Boy and Daddy Dearest were...
Christ, all I did was cry about getting my hair cut.
They were quickly arrested. Petey Boy for killing his mom, and Daddy Dearest for being accomplice after the fact.
Yeah, he was an accessory to murder.
Petey Boy got 15 years, and Daddy Dearest got 2. Mm-hmm. We don't stop there, though, my peepers, and neither does he. While in prison for killing his mom, he was the subject of a Danish TV show. Don't fucking ask me why, because, I mean, I don't know, but he was.
Serial killers, man. They make money.
During that interview, he appeared on camera with a half-black...
I saw that picture. I saw that.
I'm not even elaborating on that because...
I can only imagine he
did it to have the shock value.
Yeah, that's what I figured, but I did see that.
Yeah.
When I was trying to find a picture of him, they had the picture of him on, like, a screenshot from the show, and he had this, like, half face painted black.
Yeah. So after the interview was over, it was shown to a professor, Sten Lavander, who is a Swedish psychiatrist, and he scored Petey Boy at a 39 out of 40 on the psychopathy checklist. I probably didn't say that word right.
Psychopathy?
That sounds about right. And here we go, man. I really can't understand some people. So, like, we both know I have a fascination with serial killers, but, like, not in a romantic way.
Just how does it work kind of way.
Right. I want to know what makes them tick. And
it's a scientific fascination.
And do the things that they do. Like, when I took psychology in college, I got, like, straight A's because I genuinely just want to know, especially me, somebody with, you know...
similar issues.
Brain issues. Like, you know, me being bipolar and manic depressive and not being afraid to talk about it and not being, you know, I'm not going to keep quiet if you have a question, ask. Because the stigma in this fucking culture about people who have...
are mental illnesses.
You know, I don't consider mine to be an illness. Mine are my superpowers because they make me more in tune to things, to stuff that other people may not be. But anyway, I digress. So anyway...
yeah.
I always am curious as to why they do the things they do, and us air testicles normies don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So, I'm not rambling, I promise, I have a point.
Yeah.
So while he's locked up, he gets married. It's a tale as old as time. Boy gets locked up. Girl never meets boy, but falls in love, and they wed in a ceremony that half of the time they're not even at together. Uh-oh, somebody got fucked up.
Sorry, she's got hockey on.
Anyway, it's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Tale as old as time.
It's a tale as old as time, man. They're not even in the same fucking room, but they got married.
Older than his crime. Beauty and the Beast.
Apparently.
Sorry, couldn't help myself.
But he was quite sweet on ladies.
Oh, I bet.
I mean,
as long as they try not to cut his hair.
After that show, the ladies, it was like LL Cool J. The ladies loved him.
Well, I'm sure they saw him with the beard and all, and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, actually not bad.
Yeah, well, I guess they forgot he killed his fucking mother.
And then a random woman and her 2 kids.
Well, we didn't get to that part yet.
Well, that's going from what you said earlier.
Well, we didn't get there yet. We're still just at the mom.
Oh, so he was just sentenced. He was in prison because of the mom only.
He was in prison here in the States at this point.
Okay, because of the murder of his mother. Okay.
Like, he strangled his mom.
Yes.
The ladies are falling at his feet. But why would you think he'd respect you? He just fucking killed his mom over a haircut.
Yeah.
Any whorebag. In 1994...
Some Charles Manson shit.
In 1994. So he got locked up, what did I say, 92?
Something like that.
Let me go back, because I think it was 92.
You got this.
92.
There. Okay, so you were right.
91, 92.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
He killed his mom 91. I think he got arrested right around that same time period. But anyway, while he's locked up, he gets married. And it was in 94, he married a woman named Tina.
Oh, a normal name this time.
I don't know anything about when they got divorced. I couldn't find anything else on that. And I ain't saying shit about Tina. Maybe she a little slow. I don't know. But fast forward to 1999.
Uh-huh. So I was 6 at this point.
The American prisons were overcrowded.
Yeah.
In North Carolina.
I was going to say, they still are.
And he was released, but then immediately deported back to Denmark. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. You kill your mom over a fucking haircut. You get sentenced to 15 years. You only do 8.
And then
you
get deported
back to your home country to be set free. Sounds about right. Because he doesn't go right to jail. He's free.
Yeah. Well, also, I heard, I can't remember which country it is in Europe, but, like, their prisons are more about the rehabilitation of their inmates, so they give them like actual rooms to stay in, all the amenities.
Oh no, he
but,
was
like,
free.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are prisons that are like, here, we're gonna help you. Here's stuff that'll help you. You know.
Well, you know what? Our country needs to be more like that.
Yeah, I know. Instead, it's just like, he's been caught with a gram of weed. Open fire.
Yeah. So while he's back in Denmark, he meets and marries a woman, and I'm gonna fuck this name all the way up to Melov. It's M-A with the circle over it. L-O with the line through it. V.
Malov?
Malov?
I'm assuming.
Anyway, I'm sorry if I messed your name up or name up.
We tend to do pretty well, but if we don't know the language offhand, we will butcher it, and we apologize.
Danish. I'm part Danish, but I don't speak it. Anyway, there's no way in hell I said that name correctly, so I apologize.
Just like how we're part black, but we don't speak jive. Gotta love airplane references, people.
Yes, that was an airplane reference.
I'm not trying to be insulting. It was an airplane reference.
And if you haven't seen Airplane,
watch it. It's hilarious.
So anyway, she had a daughter, and he became violent towards both of them, and she kicked him the fuck out of the house, as she fucking should, because it saved her and her child's life. Okay, so, after that, he met Marianne Peterson. Marianne had 2 young sons. They met while she was working at a brothel in Copenhagen. Now, I don't know if he was a client of hers at the time of the meeting. I don't know, maybe if she was a receptionist.
Yeah.
Or if she was a working girl. It don't matter at this point. But that's how they met, or that's the time frame of when they met. Marianne and her 2 sons were declared missing July 3rd of 2000. And Petey Boy told the cops, when they came looking, that they were on holiday.
They were on holiday.
And he was there to paint their house.
I'm only here to do the house
now,
while I'm
I've
gone.
seen some lines of bullshit, but this is the biggest California line I have ever seen or heard in my life. So while searching...
It's the Georgia-Florida line of bullshit.
While searching the house,
That's a band, isn't it? Georgia-Florida line?
Florida, Georgia.
Ah, okay.
While searching her house, they found blood in the basement and in her car. Okay. I can understand saying they went on holiday. Because most people do get a ride, like, to the airport.
Yeah, they make they call like an Uber or something.
But wouldn't the first thing, and this is 2000.
So it would have been more like a cab.
Yeah, it would be a taxi. I don't know what they call a taxi in Denmark, but I would assume it'd still be a taxi. But wouldn't the first question you ask be, well, where on holiday did they go?
Yeah, where are they going on holiday?
Did they go on holiday, like, did they get picked up? Did they get dropped off? Why is the car here?
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, when I travel... 99% of the time, my ass drives.
Yeah.
So, anywho, just saying. They found blood in the basement and in the car. Her body, nor the bodies of her precious baby boys have ever been found, but tissue was discovered in the house. Evidence of axe and angle grinder markings have also been found in the floor of Marianne's home. Now, I thought I knew what an
angle grinder?
Angle grinder was.
I know what it is.
So I Googled it, and it is exactly what I thought it was.
Yup.
Okay?
Yup.
So here's my brain. He killed them, tried to chop them up with the axe, and then the axe wasn't strong enough to dismember them.
So he used the angle grinder.
But that angle grinder was.
Oh, yeah.
So that thing definitely will cut through bone. Here we go. So he was arrested again on July 5th, 2000. He claimed in a statement 3 weeks later, good thing you're sitting down, that he found her unconscious due to drugs and he hit her. But, like, why? Like, did he, like, slap her to wake her up to see if she would wake up? Or did he, like, hit her? Regardless, the claim is that when he hit her, it killed her.
Oof.
So, I'm no rocket scientist,
Oh, I hit her with an axe to make sure she was awake, and then she died. You
I-
don't say!
but I'm gonna go ahead and call bullshit. He killed her, and drugs probably weren't even involved.
Or if they were, he drugged her, and then he drugged her himself.
So, I digress. He also did admit to dismembering the bodies. So, hold the phone. If his claim is correct, then she was out of it because of drugs. Why in the actual fuck did he kill her kids?
I don't know.
Well,
Witnesses?
let's find out. He changed his story again in October 2000 when he then admits that he heard her air testicles talking sweetly to another man on the phone, and he became enraged and broke her neck.
Jesus.
Then I guess he figured, why the fuck not? And he broke the necks of her sons as well. Stellar fucking dude, right?
Oh, yeah.
At the conclusion of his trial in 2001, for the deaths of Marianne and her babies, he was sentenced to life. Now let's flash back to his first stint in prison for a tick.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he got hot to trot and Petey Boy got hitched?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did it again.
Oh, Jesus.
So he married once in prison here in the States.
And then
Then he married
out of prison,
Malov
and then he was in jail.
while he was free in Denmark. Now he's locked up again, and go figure,
Gets married again.
He gets married for a third time. He likes to be married, but he clearly has a disdain for women.
Yeah.
So
You find
this
out
time-
he's just a closeted homosexual who just doesn't like the fact that he's homosexual, and he takes it out on women.
Right, because he never had any kids that I saw.
Just what? Just imagine that I nailed it. Then I hit the nail right on the head with that.
I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
So this time, September 28th, 2008, he ties the knot. He ties the knot again. After 11 unblissful days, the woman filed for divorce
I'm shocked. That took a lot more time than I
Wait.
anticipated.
because she claimed he had lied to her about another woman who turned out to be his girlfriend at the time of his wedding. So she's not mad that he killed his mama.
She's mad that she lied about being single.
She's not mad that he killed Marianne and her two precious baby boys. She's mad that he lied, saying he was single when she married him, but he had another girlfriend. Can we be clear for a moment? Most men who are locked up have multiple chicks at once.
Yep.
I know this for fact. Okay? Just saying. What in the actual fucked upness is going on her?
Hell if I know. That's wild.
So here's a little bit of payback.
Oh, finally. Finally something goes in the humanity's favor.
While waiting for his trial in Denmark,
Uh-huh.
Petey Boy was now himself subject to violence. And fucking good.
About fucking time.
This was on July 27th, 2000. Turns out some inmates found out that his charges were dismembering babies
Oh! It
And
only
did
took this
not-
long.
and did not take kindly to a child murderer.
Like I said, infanticide.
Mm-hmm. Well, they tore off and beat his ass, and I'm glad. Just when you thought I was done, right?
Oh boy.
Well, the murder and dismembering part is finished, but
Yeah.
this guy's a real narcissist.
Oh boy.
He has actually gone after the media for calling him air testicles names, as he claims.
Oh no.
Did you forget you're a fucking scumbag mom and Marianne and baby murderer? I mean, like, did that part slip his mind?
Right.
I mean, that's not name calling, my guy.
I was gonna say,
That's like facts.
Yeah. They called me... Objection! They made fun of me.
Like, just because you changed your name a couple of times, my dude, doesn't mean you're
and
not still...
they call him one of his dead names. It's like, I don't like that.
like, that's not going to help. You're still you.
Excuse me, Mr. Bjorn. Excuse you. It's Peter now, thank you.
He's gone so far as to file actual lawsuits.
Oh my god.
Of course, he hasn't won any, poor little Peter.
You want to know how dumb that sounds? So recently, I don't
That's
know.
like Charles Manson going, I didn't kill him. I mean,
So-
and he didn't, but he influenced them to do it.
So, I don't know if you heard about this, but recently, the energy drink company Monster filed lawsuits against Nintendo and Capcom. And just in case you don't know, Capcom is a very, very big game developing company with Street Fighter and other games like that under their belt. They have a video game series called Monster Hunter. And that's what they had filed the lawsuit for, because Capcom
So what are they trying to, like, copyright, register, and trademark the word monster?
Yup. And they sued Nintendo for having Pokemon, which is short for Pocket Monster.
Did they win?
No! Of fucking course not! You know how dangerous Nintendo lawyers are? Holy shit! They went after streamers and YouTubers just because they played 5 minutes of Mario one time!
Oh my god.
And they basically looked at the company and laughed them out of the courtroom! Moving on!
Okay, so, like I said, he went on to file actual lawsuits. This is in Denmark, not here. Because they would have looked at it here and been like...
Yeah.
He hasn't won any, poor little Petey, but he has tried. And I did see on Murderpedia that there's an actual Facebook group dedicated to never letting this piece of shit out. And I ain't gonna lie, I might have to join it. So anyway, that is the story of the Danish dickhead, Peter Lundin. I hope he never gets out, and I hope he drops the soap in prison multiple times. Although, he might like that.
Yeah, like I said, I might have hit the nail on the head.
So what do you think?
Or,
did I call it right? The Danish dickhead? I mean, the Denmark dickhead?
I was going to say, hit the dick right on the head.
He's... I mean, wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
And I picked it because I just said, all right, I'm just going to...
Oh, you just flipped and went, done.
Yep. And then I was actually, when I started it, I was at Aunt Christie's house. And this is when Uncle John first had come home from his vacation. And I was working on it. And he goes, sis, what are you reading? And I slid it over to him. And he goes, that's fucked up. And he slid it back to me. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's me. I do the fucked up shit. But anyway, guys,
thank you for tuning in this week.
This one was kind of long. I hope
this one's actually like an hour long. I'm impressed.
I hope you don't get cut off somewhere, but thank you guys for listening, and thank you for listening to
Horticultural Where?
Fuck. We grow love for all things spoopy and macabre.
Yeah. See you guys later.
Bye.
If you have a suggestion or would like to reach out to us, or you just want to hear more horticultural, be sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or send us an email at horticultural@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at horticultural, Instagram at horticultural, and Twitter at horticultural. Should be obvious at this point. But yes, please follow us everywhere you can, and don't forget to check out our website when it inevitably is finished.